All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Cheers. Happy Monday. It is indeed a happy Monday, a beautiful weekend. The weather is starting to get a little bit less hot, a little bit less sticky. That's what we need. We need things to be just a smidge more friendly for outdoor play. We're heading into some soccer season. Got to make sure that we can get out there and not overheat in 3 seconds. What'd you guys do this weekend? Anything cool? Aaron C says, pretty quiet. Let's see. See if we can jam that up a little bit, Aaron C. Thank you. Appreciate that. Helps me get everything nice and level. There we go. Let's see if that's a little bit better. Welcome, one and all. Thank you. Nice job. If I win today, I should get 1.5 points because I'm running with a cold. Yes, nice. Well, I hope you start feeling better. Welcome to all of our members today. MaxRod16, newer name. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Nikhil, newer name. Welcome. Ram Bros Workshop. Welcome. Some newer people. Let us know in the chat if you are newer. Chris Knudsen, old friend of the show. Welcome. Ricardo Jean, experienced tournament runner. Says hello, runners. Aaron C., friend of the show. Mr. Alex, friend of the show. Victor K., and experienced tournament runner. Victor K., world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, joining us here today to challenge all of you and for all of you to challenge back. Pets World is here. What's up? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Amir Shea is here. Welcome. JXN020 is here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Haven't seen you in here before. Ace is here. What's up? BOC385 says hello from Croatia. Thank you for joining us. We love seeing people from all around the world joining us. And we got Ex Machina says, hey people, up at the top of our leaderboard for the tournament. Ex Machina repping a Libre. That's what we like to see. Anthony Jezenin is here. Welcome. Jezenson. Welcome. Wow, Ricardo Jean, €5 right off the bat. Thank you. Let's get this going. I bet on Aaron C today because the cold will help you. Nice. That is very nice. Bob Phelps says hello from Iowa. Welcome. Balkan people going strong. Yes, indeed. And Da Vinci is here as well. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Model Monday Live. Your place to go to get your fix of 3D CAD eSports. Aaron C says, let's get this train going. Thank you guys so much. It is so much appreciated. What a great way to start the stream. A great way to start our Monday. Doing some value for value here. Why are these guys sending money in? Because they get a lot of value out of the channel. They enjoy these competitions. They enjoy the practice models. If you're out there and if you can afford it and you're in that same boat, it is always very much appreciated and definitely helps keep the doors open and keep the train going. All right, guys, let's get that train going right now. Welcome. Today is Monday, July 22nd. We're going to do some CAD modeling practice. Da Vinci coming in with another super chat. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. 20th. It's a 20th super chat. Wow. Thank you. 20th super from Da Vinci in a live stream. That is awesome. Thank you. Chuck is here for the first time. Welcome, Chuck. Thanks for joining us. We're about to get into it here with this live CAD vs. CAD eSport competitive CAD modeling. Let's go. Today is July 22nd. We are in tournament season, guys. We got a few more weeks until registration ends. Registration ends, I think, August 16th, either August 15th or 16th. Let's call it the 15th to be safe. So if you're out there and you want to be part of the 16-person CAD vs. CAD World Championship 2024, this is your chance. Get in there. You can join us. You can register for free. You can qualify for free over at TooTallToby.com/tournaments. So get on in there and join us. We would love to see you in there. All right, let's get into it here. Today, we're going to do 2 live CAD speed modeling challenges. We're going to have some tournament updates. We're going to do a live solve using Onshape. And, of course, we're going to interact with the best chat ever. During our live solve, we're going to do this model here, the mounting bracket 2. We posted this, I think, last week or the week before. Had a couple of people asking about it. Aaron C. in the chat says, welcome, Chuck. Real quick, go set up custom materials with 1020, 2700, and 7800 kilograms per cubic meter. Yes, that's great advice. Yes, whenever we do these challenges, we always use inches or millimeters as our units, and we always use plain carbon steel, 1060 aluminum, or ABS as our materials. But depending what CAD system you're using, the density may be a little bit different. So great advice there from Aaron C. Make sure you set up your materials using 7800, 2700, and 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. Lots of good advice here coming in. Got it. Put up a video for Fusion. Nice. Thank you. Sounds like Chuck has some experience here doing practice models. He's here for the first time live. That's what we like to see. Guys, we're going to do a live solve of this one using Onshape today. And what I'm going to challenge all of you to do right now is take a 2D print, turn it into a 3D model as quickly as you can. You versus the chat. There's 40 people watching in here. Who's the fastest person at 3D CAD, at taking a 2D print and turning it into a 3D part? We're going to find out because you're going to calculate the mass and you're going to enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. You can use any 3D CAD package as long as you can input density, output mass. We are truly CAD agnostic here at TooTallToby. And make sure you use the specified precision when you go to put in your answer. The first person to answer correctly in the chat wins. If you answer in the chat and you look at your print again and you realize, like, oh, I missed something, I forgot to fill it, you can answer again and again and again and again. Whatever your final answer is in the chat, that's the answer that we're going to accept. So if you want to revise your answer here on Model Monday Live, you can revise as many times as you need to get that correct answer. And as we mentioned a moment ago, all of our challenges are in inches or millimeters. All of our challenges use plain carbon steel, 1060 aluminum alloy, or ABS. Just make sure that you've got the correct densities matched over here. These have to be correct. They're going to be different depending on what CAD system you're using. I've got a video posted on how to do this in SolidWorks. I got a video posted on how to do this in Onshape. There are some other CAD systems out there. You might have to look around a little bit to figure out how to create those custom materials so that you can assign your materials quickly when you're creating these models. And the advanced rules are this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I will make a mistake, like miss a dimension on the print, and the Ivan exploit is permitted. Aaron C. and I are working on the Ivan exploit video. That should be done probably by this weekend. I think we'll probably be done with that one. If we keep going at our current rate of progression, we'll probably be done by this weekend or maybe next weekend. So be on the lookout for that Ivan exploit video. And guys, let's get into it. This very first challenge is going to begin as soon as I show the print full screen. So here we go. Moving over here. LCR Brick Tech is here. What's up? What's up? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Here we go. This very first live 3D CAD challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? This is frame mount 3. We've had similar models to this before, but this is a slight variation. Let's get your music up a little bit here so you guys can really enjoy this one. Frame mount 3. Let's talk a little bit about the print actually first. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. The purple fillets are radius 5 millimeters. This is millimeters. This is 1060 aluminum alloy, which has 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter as the density. This is a tier 4 complexity. Tier 4 complexity. It's got, let's see some features to take a look at here. Looks like there's a counter bore coming down from the top on this thing, and it looks like it's got like a rectangular matching down at the bottom there. So tier 4 part frame mount 3. What is the QR code for? The QR code just takes you to TooTallToby.com/practice. It's just a straight URL. Just makes it a little bit easier to get there if you're looking at this on a different website. TooTallToby.com/practice is the website if you want to get 50 plus challenges. You can visit TooTallToby.com/practice to get those challenges. Currently free. Who knows what the future holds? Go ahead and take a screen capture of this 2D print, and that way you guys can move this over onto your second monitor. I like this song. That's what you need, is some good music if you're going to do some 3D CAD. So take that print, put it on your second monitor so that you can keep modeling, because we are going to get back into today's presentation. This is a cool model. We'll do a live solve on this in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. But this is kind of a fun model. I like it when the models have symmetry in both directions. I think it makes for a lot of opportunity to take advantage of that, to do, mirroring or centering of your geometry. I think it's pretty cool when they have symmetry in both directions. So you guys give that a try. And while you're trying that, we are going to keep going with today's presentation. This is our first challenge. Who can calculate the mass of this part in grams and enter that mass directly in the YouTube chat? The first person to do it will be declared the winner. This is a model that we see in a very similar version to in the past. So if you happen to have been here in the old days and you saw this model in the past, just make it new. Make it new. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. See how fast you are with this new frame mount 3. Guys, don't forget to support the channel. The easiest way to support the channel is to hit that like button. Looks like we got 44 people watching. How many likes we got on this live stream? Let's take a look here. Looks like we got 15 likes so far. What can we do to get that number up? Let's do what we can to get that number up. Ideally, we want that to be a 1-to-1 ratio. We want to see the same number of people watching as we have likes. So we got 44 people watching. Let's see what we can do to get that number up to 44. Look at these answers coming in. We got Ace coming in with an answer already, and we got Victor K right behind him. Victor K, world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, but Ace is ready to take a crack. We've seen him on the leaderboards. He's ready. Ace revising. Uh-oh. Victor K revising. Wow. Both of our runners revising. That's what we like to see. Ravi Kumar is here in the chat. What's up, my man? Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget, hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Hit the subscribe button and share and reshare. Guys, anytime you see me post something on social media, take a moment and hit the reshare button. It'll blast it out to your network of friends and family, and they can learn all about 3D CAD as an eSport, 3D CAD versus CAD competitions. What else is out there right now? There's basically nothing else going on in the world right now other than 3D CAD speed modeling. It's all that matters. And don't forget, your challenge this week is to go to one of your coworkers, whisper in their ear, and say, hey, did you know about TooTallToby.com? It's it's the place to go if you want to catch up on all the latest news in the world of 3D CAD speed modeling. And don't forget, just like we saw Aaron C. and Ricardo Jean and Da Vinci a little bit earlier. If you guys want to support the channel, if you're getting value out of the channel, you want to send some value back, there's a great way to do it. You can visit TooTallToby.com/donate. You can use the super chat or you can use super thanks. These are great ways to support the channel, to send some value back. You know, maybe you're a member of Netflix or Disney, something like that, and you pay a monthly subscription to one of those channels. Well, you could ask yourself, what kind of a monthly value do I get from TooTallToby? And you can set up what's called a recurring donation, recurring value for value support, financial support of the channel. You know, how much more is TooTallToby's channel worth than Disney? How much more is it worth than Netflix? To you, not general market value, but to you specifically. Once you can figure that out, you can maybe set up a monthly donation. They're very much appreciated. We appreciate Dale W. and Sylvain, who hook us up with a monthly contribution, keep the channel alive, and we definitely want this list to grow. So if you're out there and you're interested in supporting the channel each month, get on that list, TooTallToby.com/donate. Now, what is going on in the world of TooTallToby news? We got a training class coming up at the end of this month, July 31st through August 1st. If you want to visit us at TooTallToby.com/training, you can sign up with Vicky. I think registration is closing today. It may have already closed, actually, but I think it's closing today. So you got one more chance here to get in on this class. We have a few people in the class so far. We still have a few open spots, though. So July 31st to August 1st, 2 days of training, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You still have time to get your regular work done, but you're going to learn a plethora of SolidWorks tips and tricks. So if you're a SolidWorks user and you want to get some time-saving tips and tricks, get a really good return on investment. Oh, looks like Vicky's saying registration closes on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 24th. So if you want to get a plethora of time-saving tips and tricks, visit us, TooTallToby.com/training. Sign up for that training class. It's live training with me via webcam. You get 2 full days to kind of stump the chump, ask me whatever you want, learn some time-saving tips and tricks. It's $500 per student, and that gets you the training, all the questions that you want, training manual, and of course, an epic training certificate. So visit us, TooTallToby.com. We'd love to see you in that class. And we also have an on-demand CSWP prep training just about done. It's right in line with the Ivan exploit video. Hopefully this one will be out before the Ivan exploit video. If you're looking for some Onshape training, look no further than youtube.com/OnShapeInc. There is a free full end-to-end project that you can do, a tutorial that I wrote and videoed and provided a PDF guidebook with, so you can get a true, from the ground up, brand new Onshape users all the way through to creating assemblies, putting those components together, creating motion, everything that you need to become a capable Onshape user in one single tutorial. Check it out, youtube.com/OnShapeInc. Great video. I think it's got like 11,000 views now, so pretty cool for a longer format video. And of course, last week, the big news was that Teaching Tech released a video. We've got an amazing, popular YouTuber who has created a video, giving us a shout out here, giving the TooTallToby channel a shout out. And we got a lot more people signing up, a lot more competition, a lot more people here in the live stream. I'm sure some of the people in the live stream are coming directly from seeing that video. So welcome, welcome, and a huge thank you to Michael for putting out that video. It was so awesome. Such a great overview of the channel, and really, really glad to see some more people here. Great to see some, some new members of the chat, some new names in the chat. VVV in the chat. What's up? What's up? Welcome. Guys, there's a new welcome video at TooTallToby.com. So if you're trying to send people over to the channel, they can click on that video and they will learn all about what the channel is all about. And we've been releasing a lot of content, some highlight videos from the tournament, kind of trying to hype up the video. So welcome, welcome. Aaron C says, drop a 1 in the chat if you came here from the Teaching Tech video. Great idea, Aaron C. Max Rod says he came from the Teaching Tech video. Nice, nice, nice. Welcome, welcome. All right, guys, and of course, the shorts experiment continues. We've been releasing shorts every day, almost every day this year. Try to release a lot of shorts from the YouTube channel and also Instagram. What do you guys watch? You guys watch Instagram, YouTube? Aaron C., I know you're on Instagram as well. You always leave me comments. You guys, anybody watch TikTok? Anybody on TikTok out there? I post stuff on TikTok all the time. It doesn't really get much traction, but I post it because I already have the content. May as well post it. Now, of course, the biggest news out there is the practice models. And guys, I have a huge announcement. Huge announcement. There was a little bit of a problem with the reconciliation of the TTT cache. We were having some problems with the ultimately with the Cardano server, but we were having some problems with the reconciliation of the TTT cache. The TTT cache is a true cryptocurrency, believe it or not on the main net or anything, but definitely works via blockchain technology. So whenever you get those TTT cache rewards, it's kind of like you're actually interacting with blockchain, which is pretty cool. Even though it's all happening in the background, you guys don't need to be blockchain experts or anything like that. Blame it on CrowdStrike, Aaron C. says. Yeah, it happened before CrowdStrike, before the CrowdStrike debacle. But yeah, we could definitely blame it on that, you know. But long story short, Bodie McBoatpants put in the extra hours this weekend and got it resolved. So huge shout out to Bodie McBoatpants, forever indebted to him. And thank you so much for doing that and for getting things back up and running. And so you should be getting your rewards again now from doing the practice models challenges. If you're not familiar with the practice models challenges, this is available over at the TooTallToby website. So here's the live site here, TooTallToby website. You go here to practice models, and when you complete these practice models, you'll see that they are listed as complete. When you haven't done it yet, you can say click here to practice, and then you can see here that when you click here to begin and ultimately when you finish the challenge, you are going to be presented with a reward, and that reward is 10 TTT cash. And you can use that TTT cash here in the general store. So it's just kind of like our own internal it's like EXP points, essentially. We have plans to expand the capability of this in the future, but right now it's just kind of like a fun thing that we have to reward you for doing these practice models and to kind of set up some, you know, some goals for you, some accomplishments, some goals for you here in the TTT store. So you can get this cool Ivan exploit NFT and then add that to your profile. The Ivan exploit. This is the actual part that he did during the tournament. And that's the one that made it on the NFT. So practice models is all back up and running. And of course, like if you haven't done the practice models before, the other thing that's really cool about the practice models is when you do complete the practice model, you get a lot of additional analytics. So you can see here what your time was, what the fastest time was, what the average time was. You can see it presented here on a bell curve as well. So you can always see how well you did compared to the pack. And then you can either view your analytics. So here's my analytics, or when you look at the community scoreboard, you can view the analytics of anyone else. So if you're ever curious about maybe how someone else did on a model that you were struggling with, here we see One Man Willie, our free CAD user, up at the top of the chart here with 61 complete. Look at all these 61 completes. This is awesome. Or like this one here, another free CAD user, Squad Gido. So we can see here how long this user took to do some of these different challenges, and you can kind of see the history of either yourself or of someone else. You can kind of see the history of how they did their challenges. So pretty cool stuff here in the analytics. Definitely worth checking out. We can check out Tom's results here using plasticity. This is our plasticity user. So we can see how Tom's doing with plasticity. You can see all of the history. You can filter this out by the challenge level. So maybe like there's certain challenge levels that are a little harder, certain challenge levels that are a little easier for a specific user. So kind of cool that you can run some filters there. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. Huge shout out to Bodie McBoatpants, who's really done a lot of work developing this practice models board. And guys, check us out. Look at how many people we have had do practice models. 807 people have done at least one practice model. So that's not just a registered user. That's somebody who registered and then actually came in here and did the practice models app, which I think is just so cool. So congratulations to anyone who has done those practice models. They are a lot of fun, and we're going to have some more for you as time goes on. Yes, one of us. And finally, I just want to remind everybody that we are heading into tournament season. Registration is now open. During this tournament, you can expect to see all tier 3 or higher parts. You You are going to expect to see sweeps, lofts with guide curves. You're going to expect to see sheet metal, and you're going to expect to see multi-body slash multi-material challenges. So if you're interested in participating in the World Championship, make sure that you've got your chops down for these types of skills. You need to be able to model tier 3 or better parts. You need to be able to do sweeps and lofts with guide curves. You need to be able to do sheet metal. You need to be able to do multi-body, multi-material. So make sure you got your chops down. I want to give a huge shout out to our tournament super fans. This is a way you can sponsor and support the tournament as a user. You know, you're not a corporation. You don't have the money to do corporate sponsorship, but you can certainly sponsor as a user. You can become what's called a super fan. And I want to give a huge shout out to our super fans, Bob Evans, and your name here. So you could become our next super fans. We would love to see you in here as a super fan. And we are working on a deal with 3D Connection to be our tournament prize sponsor, to have some 3D Connection prizes. I think we're pretty much done with this deal, and it's a lock. So you guys, if you're going to enter the tournament, you can expect to potentially win some sweet 3D Connection gear. CAD agnostic. It works with just about every CAD system, and we are a CAD agnostic platform, so that seems like a perfect match. And I'm very, very thankful to the 3D Connection team for supporting us. They've supported this channel for a long time. And it's great to see them in here again during the tournament. Guys, if you want to compete in the tournament, you have to model these 3 models as quick as you can. Here you can see the leaderboard. If you want to look at the leaderboard, if you want to watch somebody else's video and kind of see how they did it, and then you can maybe learn from them. There's a lot of great videos there on the leaderboard that you can learn from. And finally, the July leaderboard. I know some people really enjoy doing these time-based leaderboards, so I'm going to try and keep these going. Honestly, as we go into tournament season, I think you can expect to see some things slow down. You're gonna probably see a little bit of a pause on the practice models addition to the practice models webpage. You're going to see a little bit of a pause on the leaderboard. When we go into tournament season, I get really locked in, and it's a ton of work to prepare all the models for tournament season. So you're going to see some of this stuff kind of slowing down, but make sure that you are aware that we do have a July leaderboard up there if you want to run that leaderboard. How fast can you model these 3 parts? This is your chance to do it and kind of show off your skills. Todd Becker in the chat. What's up, my man? Former multi-time co-commentator during the tournament. Maybe we can get Todd back to co-commentate for the World Championship. That would be great. All right, guys. Let's go. I think that's it, right? We got the Discord server. That's it for now. Don't forget about the Discord server. We're posting little by little. We're trying to get more traction in there. All right. Guys, don't forget to support the channel. If you like this channel, the easiest way to support the channel is hit that like button, share and reshare. And let's get into it with our first answer. Don't forget about training. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. We do have a training class coming up July 31st to August 1st. All right, let's take a look here. We got our first answer to this model here. How would I create this model here? You know, again, I mentioned this earlier. I would recognize that there is symmetry in 2 directions. So that means my origin is almost certainly going to be here. And then I would look for locations where a lot of dimensions are coming from the same place. So like this 70 dimension is coming from the base of the model, and this 25 dimension is coming from the base of the model. So the origin would probably be right here, right at the center of the model, right at the base. That's probably where I'd put the origin. And then I would start out with a sketch of this shape here. You know, you could do it as a thin feature extrusion, since it's 8 and 8 and 8. So you could do it as a thin feature extrusion and just apply that thickness, maybe just include like one of the dimensions. If those radii are difference of 8 millimeters, they are. Look, 11, radius 3. So difference of 8 millimeters. So you could do a thin feature, just draw half of it, do a thin feature, extrude that out. You could also maybe extrude that out to half of this distance. So 70 over 2, extrude it out to just half of that distance. So that would give you this shape here. And then you could kind of work out from there and just model the rest of the features and then mirror. So that's probably how I would approach this thing, at least at first glance. But who knows? All I know is that we got a ton of different answers for this thing. So let's take a look at some of these answers and see if we can't figure out what the right answer is. Here we go. Very first answers came in pretty early on. We had Ace coming in with 840, Victor K 822, Ace 830, Victor K 833, Victor K 831. We got Ricardo Jean 1075. Whoa, way outside of where these other guys were. Ace revising 826, Aaron C 826 locks it in. Very first answer. Ace and Ace and Aaron C there, right there together. Aaron C already saying GG Ace. Victor K, 826, agreeing here with Ace and Aaron C. This one looks like it might end up going to Ace, huh? Ricardo Jean sticking out there at that 1,600, 1,060 range. I like it. Consistent. Mr. Alex, 836. Very nice. Ricardo Jean, 1,025. I can't wait for Ricardo to tell us what went wrong. I'm sure I'm going to read it later on what went wrong here. Mr. Alex, revising to 826, agreeing with some of those earlier answers. VVV, 834. I like it. Max Rod, 824. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. All right. Let's see here. We got some people who came over from Teaching Tech. Thank you so much. Chuck coming in, 1371. Ram Bros, 700. Amir coming in, 835. Ricardo revising to 826. Bach, 385, 1074. I like it. Amir, 826. Bach revising to 1069. Can't go wrong with that answer. Pet World, 1048. JXN coming in with 830. What's up, JXN? Great to see you in here. Chuck, 1381. Let's see here. Bach revising to 946. Chuck revising to 1931. Bob Phelps, 826. We keep seeing that number. Bach revising to 844. Anthony coming in, 826. We like it. Let's see what else we got here. Whoops. Rambros, 826. Anthony, 826. Rambros, 826. Nikhil coming in, 877. I like it. I was thinking 826. Yep, I like that answer. Shuror coming in, 823.7. Did both top and bottom things as thin features. Yeah, I like those. I like that thin feature on the bottom too at that 6 millimeters. And Chuck revising to 1355. Guys, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is 826. So GG to Ace. Well done. Nice job to Ace coming in with that very first answer. This is awesome. So awesome to see so many people in here. Yeah, I agree. We got to get some, you know what? I'm going to work on getting some custom, I'll get some custom icons, some custom YouTube icons, and maybe people can post their CAD system. I'll see if I can make that happen. And that way, as you post your answer, you could drop your CAD system into it. It'd be kind of interesting to see what people are using. So we'll see if we can make that happen in a future episode. Rock Crawler's here in the chat. What's up, my man? Thanks for joining us. GG to Ace. Really GG to everyone. Clearly a tricky model. Model that had a little bit of, it's kind of hard to see through some of those views. Look, guys, that's the point of what we're doing here at Model Monday Live and at TooTallToby.com. We're trying to help you learn how to read drawings. I know it doesn't always follow a specific standard, but guaranteed you will run into drawings that are kind of difficult to read. And the more practice you get, the better you're going to get at it. The better you're going to get at figuring out how to navigate your way through those kinds of challenges. So let's roll this into the next challenge here. We're going to roll right into it. If you guys are enjoying the channel, be sure to hit the like button. Let me flip over to full screen here. And GG to Ace. Ace is going to get a point on the Model Monday Live leaderboard. And here we go. This next challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. Another old one, another oldie but a goodie. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 2 grams. Now, we have these magenta notes. We call them, Rich Penn calls them Toby notes. I think that's a good name for them, these Toby notes. So whenever you see one of those magenta notes, you want to just kind of like take pause and look at it and see if I'm trying to give you some kind of a hint. But in this case, it actually says, hint, do not merge faces. Now, this is a discussion that we had a while back about this model, about what happens when you merge those faces. But just trust me, don't merge those faces. If your CAD system has an option for that type of a command to merge those faces, choose not to. It might say something like merge tangent faces. Choose not to. So you can see what's happening here with this model. We've got a 10 millimeter dimension coming down to tangent. That 10 millimeter dimension is held all the way across the top of the model there. This is some kind of a corner jig. You drop a part on here. The part has a rounded face, but it needs to have a hole drilled into it. It's got a little foot on the bottom, something like that. So maybe like the foot sits into those little C-bores and then you drill up the hole from the bottom, something like that. Some type of a corner jig. So this needs to set on an existing part, the corner of a canoe or a kayak, something like that. needs to set onto an existing part so we can figure out where the holes are supposed to go. And so you need to figure out what is the mass of this part. What's the best way to draw up this geometry? This part's made of ABS. It's 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. And this part has a very loose tolerance compared to some of our other parts. Usually you get about 0.1% usually. This one you're getting quite a bit more as far as your tolerance goes. And there's a reason why that is, of course. We'll talk more about that reason at the end. But for now, what I need you guys to do is grab a screen capture. Use print screen, use MW snap, use Snagit, use whatever you use to do a screen capture. Hit the print screen button, whatever it is that you use. Do a screen capture, and then we are going to be moving on. Moving into a live solve. I love these live solves. All right. Hope that was enough time for everybody. We'll talk more about this part at the end of the presentation today. But I hope that was enough time for everybody to get a good screen capture. Good luck to everybody. A little bit more tricky, right? What is going to be part of the tournament this year? Lofts and sweeps. You're going to need to know how to do some basic lofts and sweeps now. Sometimes it's difficult for me to define lofts and sweeps as far as the geometry on the print goes compared to the geometry that you're creating. When you have a loft and a sweep, if stuff gets too swoopy, lofty, curvy, it becomes very difficult to define using a 2D print, using a single sheet 2D print. But if you are following some of my hints, you should be able to come up with the mass. I think I just recently did on one of the practice models. I think I did one that also uses a loft and a sweep. It kind of came from a tournament. It was inspired by this guy here. Swoopy lofty. We even have these tagged here. Look at this. We even have them tagged. So you kind of know what you're getting into before. So tier 6 challenge, and it's using swoopy lofty skills. It's that swoopy lofty type of model. So we do click here to practice, click here to begin. Guys, this is going to be a spoiler. If you don't want to see this print, look away for a minute. But if you don't care, then you can still look. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So you can see here, this is another one of these models that is going to be a little swoopy lofty. It's kind of going from like a circular shape up to a slotted shape. So it's going to be some type of a sweep or a loft to get that transition to take place. And if you want to, end up within tolerance, you got to make sure you use use a guide curve, kind of follow the hints. Now, the thing is, a lot of times with these parts, I'll make the tolerance a lot wider to account for, for different solvers, the different CAD systems. I mean, this one, the one that we're doing right now, in the live stream, I modeled this in SolidWorks and then I modeled it in Onshape just to kind of see what the deviation was. And the deviation was only, I think it was like 0.15 grams. So, Aaron C says, the part on screen now is what Victor K won the championship with last year. Absolutely insane watching him and Ivan race through that one. Yeah, that's a great highlight. You guys could definitely check that out. Definitely a good solution. I like Sharor saying, I'm not lofting. This is fine to use a variable fillet with. Nice. I like that. I like that strategy. Very clever. I'll be honest, I didn't even think about that. So, very, very clever. Approved. Very clever and approved. All right, you guys, good luck. Good luck. I see some answers already coming in. Very impressive. Some answers coming in. I like it. Guys, don't forget, if you enjoy this kind of 3D CAD speed modeling, and if you want to really prove to the world how good you are, get some exposure, give yourself a chance to get seen out there, parlay that into some kind of a new job maybe. This is your chance. The World Championship stage is open. You can qualify for free at TooTallToby.com/tournaments, and the World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling, the only esport that matters, is taking place Friday, October 18th, the finals. We're going to build up to it over starting August 30th and going to Friday, October 18th, and then we're going to have our final event on Friday, October 18th. We're going to have some kind of a live event. I'm not sure how big it's going to be. Last year we went pretty big. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to top that, but we're going to try to do something fun for everybody at that final event. So mark it on your calendar, and let's do some Onshape 3D CAD modeling. We're going to do a live solve of this part here. This is kind of a cool part that was posted a few weeks ago. I saw a couple comments asking for a tutorial for a live solve of this one. I think it definitely gets a little bit tricky with these tabs sticking out here, so this is a great one for a live solve. So let me take a sip of my coffee. Take a sip of my water. Guys, we got 53 people watching right now. Be sure to hit that like button. Let's get our like ratio up to match that. If you enjoy this kind of competition, live competition, who's the fastest in the chat? That is the question. Who is the fastest in the chat? We got 34 likes. We got 51 people watching. Let's see what we can do about getting that to match up. And now let's do a live solve using Onshape. As you guys know, I'm having quite the honeymoon with Onshape, really enjoying learning Onshape every day. I'm just more and more impressed with it. I just got to watch the live stream where they were talking about all the new enhancements that have come out so far this year in Onshape. Very, very impressive stuff. It just continues to impress me just about every step of the way. So very excited about Onshape and learning more about Onshape. And we are going to do a live solve using Onshape 3D modeling to create this model here, the mounting bracket 2. So whenever you are challenged to take a 2D print and turn it into a 3D model, there's kind of a standard playbook that you want to follow, some kind of common things that you want to ask yourself as you're getting started. And the first thing that you want to ask yourself is, where should my origin be located? Now, in order to determine this, you have to ask yourself things like, is the model symmetric? And in the case of this model, yes, the model is symmetric. It's symmetric in two directions. So you can see that the model is symmetric in this direction and symmetric in this direction. So that tells me the origin is probably going to be right here. Then the next question you want to ask is, are there common dimensions that come from the same location? Are there many common dimensions that come from the same location? And in the case of this model here, there are several dimensions that come from this location right here, the center of that boss. Now, this model is a little bit of an anomaly because you've got this 4 dimension that comes from that boss, and then there's a bunch of dimensions that come from this lower face of this tab. And so you kind of have to ask yourself, like, would it be better to have the origin here, or would it be better to have the origin here? But I think that then you're going to get into the question of, what is my very first feature going to be? And a lot of times the first feature that you create in a 3D CAD model is kind of like the foundation for the rest of the model. So in the case of this model here, my very first feature is probably going to be this circle with a flat spot on it that gets extruded. And so with that being the case, I think it's a stronger argument to put the origin here. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, where should my origin be? And to help you determine that, you want to ask yourself, does the model have symmetry? Are there any dimensions that all seem to be going to the same location? Are there any datums that all seem to have the same dimension going to them? That's going to help you locate your origin. And then finally, you want to ask yourself, what does my very first feature look like? What's my first feature going to be? What's the sketch going to be for that first feature? And what sketch plane is that sketch going to land on? So we've already talked about how the first feature is going to be this extrusion here. Now the question is, what's the sketch plane going to be? And I think it's probably going to be the front plane. And then I'll bring this excuse me. And then I'll bring this out either as a mid-plane extrusion, or maybe I'll just model half of the model and then I'll go back in and mirror everything at the end. Either way, I'm going to be creating this from the front plane coming out for my very first extrusion. Now, the final thing you want to ask yourself is just kind of start to put together a game plan. The final thing you're going to want to do is just kind of put together some kind of a game plan, like, what are the next features going to be in this model? So when it comes to the next features in this model, we're going to be looking at things like The initial shape is going to be this main shape here. The next thing is going to maybe be one of these tabs sticking off the side. And you can see that these tabs are a little tricky because they have this draft on them. So maybe what I'll do is I'll create the tab sticking out like this to the depth of 20 millimeters. And then once I have that tab sticking out, then I can go in and add that 8-degree draft on that tab. So I could extrude that tab out, maybe include the hole while I extrude that tab out, add that 8 degrees draft, and then once I've got that tab completed, now I'm ready to start tackling this shape here. So I'm going to be creating that again from the front plane and extruding it out, or maybe extruding it out mid-plane. And then the final feature would just be this kind of rectangular slot that's on the top of the model. So it's always important to look at your model to kind of come up with a game plan before you actually jump into the 3D CAD. And that way you'll have an idea of how you're going to work through your features. Of course, if you encounter something that causes you to change that plan, that's fine. You could always modify on the fly. So I'm going to move that screen capture over onto my second screen. I'm going to jump into 3D CAD here in Onshape, and we are going to get started with this live solve. So let's bring up our brand new keyboard cam. Let's see how we like this here, and let's get into Onshape. So I'm going to say create document. I'll call this 24-07-11-mounting bracket 2. And that way, if anybody wants to search this document, they can get in here and open up and work with this document, the exact document that I'm creating here. Now, to follow my game plan, I'm going to start on the front plane, begin a sketch, orient my view, and then I'm going to do the S key, and I'm going to bring up the circle command, and this circle is going to have a diameter of 55, so I use the auto dimension in Onshape, and then I'm going to create a horizontal line here in Onshape, and I'm going to use the S key to define that flat spot distance at, what is that flat spot distance? How is it defined? Oh, this is kind of interesting. That flat spot distance is defined by the surrounding geometry. So this just got a little bit more difficult, a little bit more complex. So this is where Onshape can really shine, because it will allow you to create your geometry in a almost layout type fashion. So I could get in here and create this kind of layout geometry here for that upper hook type shape. Let's create a line here. I'm going to say Q to make that line construction. And that way I can take all this geometry here and just mirror it across. And I'm going to be ready now to define those dimensions that are off of the print. So this dimension here is a dimension at 42. So 42 across to there. This wall thickness here for that inner dimension is 8. So this dimension from here to here is 8. And then that gives me the location of that flat spot. I mean, I guess I could have just added those dimensions as well, but since I'm already in here, I may as well just define all the geometry, kind of lay out all this geometry. So that's going to be 14 for that gap up top. So there's that 14 for that gap up top. Let's get that 8 moved over there a little bit. And then we're going to define this thickness here as 8 as well. And usually I will opt to include my fillet dimensions as part of the actual fillet feature rather than doing them in the sketch, but you could go either way. And then this dimension here is going to be our 50 dimension minus 4. So it's to the bottom of those side tabs minus 4 because we're going to the origin, not to the bottom of those side tabs. So I'll just do 50 minus 4 to give me that 46 dimension. And now that should set me up nicely to create my first extrusion. I guess at this point, since I've already come this far, I may as well include the diameter of the hole here. So 34. And again, those tabs on the side, I could create them now. I could create them as a secondary feature. I don't really like overfilling my sketches. I like it when my sketches are a little bit easier to decipher later on. So, I could go either way on this topic, but I think that that's probably a good place to stop for this sketch. So I'm going to do S key extrude, and once I go into extrude here, I'm going to hit the space bar because the space bar clears all your selections, and that way I could just choose this region here. And I can say I'm going to extrude that out to a depth of 64/2. Because I'm only going half the distance because I'm going to mirror this thing at the end. So 64/2, and that finishes that extrusion. Let me show that sketch again. I'm going to click on that sketch, S key, extrude. I'm going to press the space bar again so not everything is included, and then I'm just going to click in this region, and those guys are going to go out to a depth of 33/2. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now I could do S key fillet, and I could say I want to type in a radius here of 6. And that radius 6 is going to go here and here. and enter. And there we go. That basically takes care of everything that has to do with those top little forks that are sticking out there, those top little clamps. Now, it's always good to rename your features. So I could do Shift-N here to rename this. I could call this main flat circle shape. And then for my second feature here, I could do a Shift-N. I could call this like upper forks. And then this would be the upper forks fillet. So call it something like fillet, upper forks. I think it's always good to rename your features. It just makes it much easier for you and for your coworkers to navigate through the tree when you're done working on that tree. So now, once again, I could go to the front plane, begin a sketch, orient my view. I could maybe reuse some of this existing geometry. Here I'm using the arrow keys just to kind of rotate the view. So I could reuse some of this existing geometry. Like maybe I could take this edge here and this edge here and do a convert entities. And then from there, I could create my tabs that are sticking out the side here. So this line comes over. Again, I'll save my fillets to the end. I don't think I need to include those fillets right now, but maybe I will include these holes here in the middle. And now I'm going to jump into my smart dimension, and we'll say that the location of that hole, oops, that was a bad dimension. Let me take a mulligan there. I can create a smart dimension here that says that the distance from the origin down to this lower leg here is 4, and then the distance from that lower leg to that upper leg there is 30, and then the distance from the lower leg to the center of that hole is 15, and the distance from the hole to the other hole on the other side is 72/2, and the diameter of that hole is 11, and the distance of this leg all the way across to the other side is 90/2. Now, the other way that you could do something like this is you could, let's delete these dimensions here. You could create a center line. So I could create the center line here, and then I could do Q. And then once I create that center line and do Q, then when I go to create my dimensions, I could create a dimension from this line here to the center line and then cross over. See, I could cross over there and then type in the total distance, 90. So I could go from the center of that circle to the center line here, cross over that construction line, and then type in the distance there of 72. So if you know you're just going to create half of the model features and then you're going to mirror them later, then maybe that makes sense to create those double dimensions in the feature. So now I could take this feature here and I could choose to extrude it, and that's going to extrude out to a depth of 20/2. Or as we call it in my house, 10. And then what I could do is I could apply a draft feature to this thing. So draft, and the draft is going to be applied as neutral plane, meaning the draft will start from whichever face I select, and the face will also define the normal angle for the draft. And then the faces to be drafted are going to be this face here, and then the angle is going to be 8 degrees. So Onshape gives me a nice preview of that draft. I think that looks good. And now I can S key fillet, and the fillet here, I'll use the tab key to get down to the radius. The fillet radius here is going to be a radius of 5, and that's going to be on this upper and lower section of that side tab. So now again, we could rename these. We could call this something like side tab. We could call this one draft side tab. And we could call this one something like fillet side tab. So that's Shift-N to get into that rename feature. I really think it's important to rename your features as you're going through your models. This also makes it very easy for me to select these features, so 1, 2, 3 features, and select this this plane here. So this is going to be the right plane, and then jump into a mirror command. The only problem is that by default, Onshape puts me into a part mirror, so I need to switch over here to feature mirror. So I guess it actually didn't make it that much easier, although it is easy to pick them from the tree when I do that. All right, and then there's my mirror feature, and there we go. If the feature ever shows up as red, a little trick here in Onshape, you can just click this reapply feature. Without getting into the details of what that does, just for the sake of time, just know that if you ever go to create a pattern or a mirror and it doesn't work, it shows up red, just hit that reapply features. A lot of times that'll resolve it. And so then the final feature on this thing would be my rectangular cut extrude. So this rectangular cut extrude here is going to be 14 by 44. And then we are going to, let's make sure that that is coincident to the origin. I think I missed my coincident there on that rectangle. Yep. So coincident to the origin there. So I'll pick both of those and press I. And then we're going to take that. We're going to do an extrude. This is going to be a remove, and it's going to go up to face. And we'll just take that down to this face here. So we remove that material, and then we'll finish off with our final fillet. So S key fillet, and then tab, tab, tab to get to the radius of that fillet. And that radius is going to be 5 for all 4 of these corners. So this corner and this corner here. And now this time we can actually do a part mirror. So we go mirror, and this is going to be here, and then our mirror plane is going to be here. So we can actually do a part mirror for that one. And that should pretty much do it. We can press P to hide our planes. We can do the final spin, kind of look this thing over. Come down here in the lower left, you can right mouse button and say edit appearance and change the appearance to match the appearance on the print. You don't have to do that, but I like to do that. Come down here, right mouse button, say assign material. And then when we go into assign material, we're going to say that this is going to use the material from the TTT custom materials, and that's going to be the 1060 alloy. So aluminum 1060. And so then if we go to mass properties and we click on this thing, we see we're coming up with a mass here of 337. 337. And so if we return to the presentation here, Model Monday Live presentation, I would type that in. I would say 337, and the correct answer is, oh yeah, 337. We did it. We got it correct. So if you enjoy those types of live solves, if you enjoy those types of tutorials, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And of course, be sure to check out all the great stuff we offer to help you get better with 3D CAD over at TooTallToby.com. And with that, I think we are ready to move into the final answer here. VVV says many faster ways to do it, but it seems hard to think of them when you want to do is when all you want to do is finish the model as fast as possible. So you just end up using whatever you're more used to. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, VVV. I think a lot of our runners have run into that, and that's why we practice. If you practice, maybe you learn some of the other tools that you're less familiar with. So we're going to get into it here with answer number 2 in these challenges. But don't forget to support the channel, like and subscribe. Looks like we've got 43 people watching still. So if you're enjoying the show, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to share and reshare. Don't forget about the value for value model, TooTallToby.com/donate. You can take a look at all the great content that we put out throughout the month, and you can say to yourself, what is that worth to me on a monthly basis? And whatever it is, maybe it's $1, maybe it's $10, maybe it's $125. You know, whatever it's worth to you on a monthly basis, whatever you can afford. I know different people can afford different things, but if you're getting a lot of value out of the channel, be sure to visit us, TooTallToby.com. It is very much appreciated. And of course, if you're interested in some great SolidWorks training, you can check us out at TooTallToby.com/training. Vicky says, we received a PayPal donation from Mo. Thanks, Mo. Oh yeah, very much appreciated. Thank you, Mo. TooTallToby.com/donate for that value for value. All right, so now we get into this model here, a little bit of a tricky model. There's a hint here that says do not merge faces, and the reason that hint is important is because Aaron C. says, I'm getting a lot of value out of the channel. Thank you, Aaron C. I'm very, very thankful. Thank you, and I'm glad you're getting a lot of value out of the channel. It's a real pleasure having you as part of the channel as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So this hint here says do not merge faces. We talked about this a long time ago in the TooTallToby live stream, but if you merge the faces, a lot of times what the CAD software will do is create splines, and a spline has a different curvature constraint as it comes to the intersection here. So if you create splines, you're not going to get the true curvature that you would get from a line, an arc, and a line, and that means you're going to have a different result, sometimes a very different result. So that's why it's important that you don't merge faces. You only want this face here to be affected by the loft. You really want these faces here to be straight, and that's why we saw that suggestion earlier. Maybe you could just do it as a variable fillet. That would probably work too. So let's see what we got as far as our answers in the chat. Lots of people here in the chat today. Looks like the very first answers came in pretty soon after the GG Ace answers came in. So Aaron C comes in with 347. Victor K comes in with 347. Ace comes in with 347. Very, very nice. Ricardo Jean, 347. I like it. I like it. VVV comes in with 347. AMO Alex comes in 347. Ram Bros comes in 352. Kamal comes in with 371. Hello, Kamal. Welcome to the channel. Sharor comes in with 347. Let's see if Sharor ended up using that variable fillet. Amir comes in 347. Aaron C 347 with variable fillet. Very nice. I like that. I like seeing the deviation there. Let's see here. Merge face in loft cut didn't make any difference. Still got 347. Nice. Okay, good to know. That's the JXN comes in 352. Chuck comes in 350. Bob Phelps comes in 347. Bach 347. I like it. I like it. GG, my Croatian brother. I like that unity. Aaron C comes in 347 with Lofted Boss as the very first feature. Nice. I like all the different ways you're doing that, Aaron C. Chuck comes in 352. And Nikhil comes in 346. Very nice. Anthony comes in 347. Aaron C comes in 347 with yet another method, just goofing around. Aaron C comes in with 347. Again, truly getting a lot of value out of this channel by being able to do this in so many different ways. I like it. I like it. And Aaron C, merge face versus non-merge face. Looks like a deviation there of about 0.1 gram. 0.1 gram. So, guys, the correct answer is 347 grams. GG to Aaron C, not only coming in with the very first answer on that one, but also coming in with the most answers to a single question using the most different techniques I think that we've ever seen on Model Monday Live. So GG at Aaron C. Well done, my friend. Well done. Congratulations. Guys, give Aaron C a GG in the chat. But really, anybody who was able to complete these models today, I mean, these are not easy models. We're trying to teach you some new skills, doing a loft here, not exactly the easiest, not exactly something that a lot of people are familiar with. So GG to anybody who got through that model. I know that it was not an easy model. These were tough models today, guys. So nice job to anybody who got through. And it was great seeing all the new people in the live stream today. Thank you all so much for joining us. And GG to everyone. Congrats to our winners. Congrats to Ace. Congrats to Aaron C. You guys can expect to see your points added to the Model Monday Live leaderboard at TooTallToby.com. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat. The most amazing chat ever. So great to see everybody in here. Don't forget, your challenge this week is to tell one coworker about the channel. Walk up to them, whisper in their ear, let them know what we're doing over here. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but we do have a training class coming up next week, July 31st to August 1st. So please join us for that training, TooTallToby.com/training. This is the end of the live stream. Next week, we have no planned episode. We're going to be taking off, starting to get everything ready for the tournament. So no planned episode next week, but that might change. I might feel inspired and decide to fire one off at the last minute. So join us if we're here. Otherwise, I'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Shout out to Bodie for having the website updated already. Wow. Bodie McPopepants is on it today. We like that. Guys, don't forget, if you see me posting practice model shorts, pro moves, anything social media based, please take a moment, hit the share and reshare. That shares it out to your network. Who knows? There might be people in your network who are very interested in 3D CAD as an esport and don't even know that it exists. So this is your way of letting them know. I want to say thank you all so much for joining me today on Model Monday Live. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next episode. What a great way to start our week. What a great way to start our Monday and start our week. So enjoy the rest of your week. Try to stay warm if you're in a cold area. Try to stay cool if you're in a warm area. And we will see everybody on the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody.